Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video, this time covering Rogue to start with in Season of Discovery, going through runes and things like that, so let's get into it. So Rogue is one that people are super hyped about because Rogue tank, but I also think they have some other stuff that's just kind of crazy, so let's talk about it. Deadly Brew. When you inflict any other poison on a target, you also inflict deadly poison. Just what? Like, that's crazy. So a very poison heavy assassination build I think is going to be very, very viable. Just a flesh wound, you take 20% reduced damage while Blade Dance is active. Additionally, you have 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks. The threat generated by all your actions is massively increased, and your Feint ability is replaced with Tease, which taunts the target to attack you. Now, is Blade Dance always active in Classic? Let's have a look. Never mind, I was bad. It's Blade Flurry I was thinking about. So, quick draw. Draw your ranged weapon and fire a quick shot at an enemy, causing normal ranged weapon damage and reducing the target's movement speed. So, ranged slow, which is nice. Very outlaw-y. Reduces the energy cost of your backstab and ambush by 20. This is mad. Now, I don't think this is going to get used. Hear me out. Because there's something else down here that I think is just going to be better. So I don't think this is going to get used very much. Maybe for like rogue DPS. But we'll talk more about that in a second. Between the Eyes. Ranged finishing move that causes damage per combo point. Increased by attack power and stuns the target. 5-second stun. Bear in mind, I don't think you'll have access to Kidney Shot. So that's actually quite crazy. Gonna deal a good amount of damage. You can build points up with quick draw at range, so you'd potentially be able to kind of fire off quick draw a few times, then between the eyes get a 3-second stun, run in, and you've closed that gap to someone who's kiting you, which is quite cool. Now, looks like legs are where all of the different combo point spenders are, so I mean it's very simple what you're going to go for, right? In Venom is anything that is going to apply deadly poison to the target. Between the Eyes is a very combat-y option, and Blade Dance then is going to be for tanking. This is Blade Dance that I was confused with Blade Flurry. So while this is active, you're just also going to have 20% reduced physical damage taken, which is kind of crazy. Now, Mutilate instantly attacks with both weapons for 100% weapon damage plus an additional 20 with each weapon. Damage is increased by 20% against poison targets. So doesn't apply to Mutilate, Slaughter from the Shadows, so yeah. I mean, I think this is going to be the play for most. I would probably play a Mutilate Rogue in like PvP, but then you've got Shadow Strike. Teleport behind your target and strike, causing 150 weapon damage to the target. Now, this is a retail ability, but I think it's just going to one-shot people in Classic. Like a proper stacked rogue is just going to one-shot people who aren't fully geared. Saber Slash, viciously slash an enemy for 130% weapon damage. Cause the target to bleed for 11 damage every 2 seconds for 12 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Now, obviously, so for Rogue Tank, let's specifically talk about Rogue Tank. In fact, let's go through all of them first. Shiv. Instantly attack with your offhand weapon to deal normal offhand weapon damage with a 100% chance to apply the poison from your offhand. Yeah, we know what Shiv does, right? Main Gauche. Instantly strike with your offhand weapon for normal offhand weapon damage and increase your chance to parry by 10% for 10 seconds. Okay. So, I mean, there's just 4 builds, isn't there? Like, you have... I don't know when you'd run Shiv over Mutilate, but if you want to play like a poison assassination rogue, you've got Mutilate in Venom and obviously Deadly Brew. If you want to play an outlaw build or a combat build, you're going to quick draw between the eyes and Saber Slash. If you want to run Rogue Tank, it's going to be Main Gauche. Blade Dance, just a flesh wound. There's kind of no variation from that, I don't think. Now, something interesting to say, and I haven't said this in other previous videos, this may not be all of the runes. We may get more runes and that may change these builds, but just going on the information we have, this is kind of what we're picking. Slaughter from the Shadows. Like, you could play like a sub build, Shadow Strike, Between the Eyes, Slaughter from the Shadows, for like a sub PvP build, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sold on like a sub build. But let's get into Shaman anyway, because I mean, who cares about rogues? I'm sorry, all the rogue players. Increases your chance. Dual wield specialization increases your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 5% while dual wielding, and your Storm Strike ability now hits with both weapons while dual wielding. We're not going to have Storm Strike, are we? Like, we're just not going to have Storm Strike because it's too far down in the tree unless they change it somewhere. I haven't even looked through these, so if there's no Storm Strike, then that's just really bad. Shield Mastery. Each time you block, you regenerate mana equal to 4% of your maximum mana. You gain armor equal to 30% of your shield's armor value. You always gain 10% chance to block, increased chance to block, and increased block value. So, obviously this is supposed to be for Shaman Tank. I'm going to run this for, like, Elemental PvP if I decide to play multiple classes. And I do a Shaman, this is going to be Elemental PvP. I would run this over Overload, I think. Gives your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Chain Heal, Healing Wave, and Lava Burst spells a 30% chance to cast a second similar spell on the target at no additional cost that causes half the damage or healing and no threat. That's pretty cool. Now, Healing Rain. Now, someone brought this to my attention, and Healing Rain is only the people in your party get healed. So they have to be stacked up and in your party, which is kind of weak, but also kind of crazy strong that we have ground effects in Classic. So, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Ancestral Guidance for the next 10 seconds, 25% of your damage is converted to healing up to 3 nearby party members, and 100% of your healing is converted to damage on your most recent Flame Shot target. That's pretty cool. Earth Shield, normal Earth Shield, I don't see anything different there. 3 charges, last 10 minutes. Yeah. Rock Biter is how you're going to have aggro as a tank. While Rock Biter weapon is active on your main hand weapon, you deal 100% increased threat, gain 30% increased health, take 10% reduced damage, gain 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks, and Earthshock taunts targets to attack you. Okay. Shamanistic Rage reduces the damage you take by 20%, and you regenerate mana every second for 15 seconds. Mana regenerated per second is equal to 15% of your attack power, 10% of your spell power, or 6% of your healing power, whichever value is greatest. This is cool, because mana is going to be an issue, and that kind of just helps fix it if it's a 1 minute cooldown, which a Shamanistic Rage normally is. That could be fun. Now, gloves. Water Shield, which, again, helping with mana, is going to be fun, but I mean, let's face it, you're going to pick these. Lava Burst is the normal flame shock on the target. Lava Burst will do a critical strike. Already hits as one of the biggest numbers I've seen. Like, just to give you some context, right? Up to 256 damage. So let's go to Warlock, right? It's hitting almost as hard as Chaos Bolt, for God's sake. Mage, where's Mage? There's Mage. Like, isn't just. I mean, it's hitting harder than Arcane Blast. Lava Burst is going to hit exceptionally hard. I wish this advert would stop playing. So let's go back down to Shaman. So, and it's guaranteed crit. That's going to hit very, very hard. Lava Lash. I mean, it's still just a bad ability. I don't see people using this because I think it's just bad. Blast enemies in a cone in front of you for fire damage. This ability generates a high amount of threat. Flame shot period damage has a 10% chance to reset the cooldown on blast. So that's obviously your AoE threat generator as Shaman Tank. Enhancement, you're either going to play this or just play 2-hand Enhance. Elemental, you're going to play Lava Burst. Resto's going to play Water Shield. Tanks are going to play Way of Earth. Resto is either going to play this or just play Shamanistic Rage. I think this is probably better. Enhance or Ellie will either play Shamanistic Rage or Ancestral Guidance if you need the cooldown. And then up here you've got, Elemental's always going to pick this. Resto depends how much this heals, to be honest. It doesn't even say the number. I don't know the numbers. It's either going to be this or this. And yeah, I don't think we have Storm Strike. Let's have a look. So this is the talent tree in Classic, right? So we'd probably go for this one. Yeah, Storm Strike's all the way down here. So it just looks like... we can go to, what, 25? Maybe get 1 into Flurry. In fact, I don't even think we'd do that. I think... so we'd do this so we can shock. Yeah, I think I'd do that. Which means we're not going to get to Storm Strike. Which makes that talent irrelevant. Yeah, not impressed with the Shaman ones. That's kind of bad because we just can't use it. We'd be able to dual wield, I guess. But yeah, okay. Not particularly impressed with the Shaman ones. So come back next video, we're going to be looking at Paladin. In fact, no, we're just going to do it now. You can see really how ad hoc these are, by the way. We're going to do Paladin now just because it's here, right? So, and it's the last spell. And I know that Scott is very excited to play Paladin. Okay. Oh, I get it now. Okay. Paladin Rune. So, Seal of Martyrdom. We're going to do chest first. Seal of Martyrdom fills you with Holy Spirit for 30 seconds. Causes each of your melee attacks to deal 30% weapon damage to up to 3 nearby enemies, but you lose health equal to 10% of the damage inflicted. While the seal is active, your party members within 40 yards gain mana equal to all damage you take. Who would use that? Like a holy pally? And you just leave yourself meleeing? Let's see what other options there are, because I don't know who would use this at the moment. Divine Storm, which to think Divine Storm is in Classic is just crazy. Obviously Rhett is going to pick this up. Or Horn of Lordaeron. This Paladin, the Paladin blows the Horn of Lordaeron, which increases total strength and agility of all party members within 30 yards by 17, lasts 2 minutes. So it's effectively Horn of Winter. Now, Horn of Winter shares a slot with Strength of Earth Totem. Now, obviously, Alliance could never get Strength of Earth Totem because, well, they had no Shaman. Now, you'd need to bring like 5 pallies or 8 pallies or something because it's only party members, but yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Aegis. Increase your block value by 30%. Damaging melee and range attacks against you have a chance to increase your chance to block by 30%. But you already have this, right? Like, Paladin? Or does that just not exist yet? No, there you go. Increase your chance to block attacks with your shield by 30% after being a victim of a critical strike. Increase your block value by 30% and damaging melee and range attacks against you have a 10% chance to increase your chance to block. Like, it looks like that's just going to proc alongside Readout. And they're not going to add together, but you're just going to have it up all of the time. I don't know. This is weird. Oh my god, DSAC is in. I hate it. So I'm not a fan of DSAC. I've said it openly. I'm not a fan of DSAC. Yeah, I mean, it's such a good thing. Like, it's such a good ability. And yeah. So let's go through the other legs. Inspiration Exemplar. Your inspiring present periodically spells the fear and sleep effects. This is going to be so good for PvP. What? Adventure Shield. Hurls a holy shield at an enemy, dealing 165 to 197 holy damage, dazing them and then jumping to additional nearby enemies. Affects 3 total targets and lasts 10 seconds. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to run this, and I'll say why in a second. Exorcism can now be cast on any target, and there's a 100% increased critical strike chance against undead and demons. Who's going to run that, though? So the reason I say all this is because of Rebuke, right? Rebuke is an interrupt. So Ret is going to take Rebuke. Potentially Prot is going to take Rebuke. Holy's going to take DSAC. Just, yeah. Maybe Inspiration Exemplar if there's like a fight that needs it, but it's just going to take DSAC. Yeah, I feel like these ones are kind of wasted. I mean, that's going to get used in PvP, which is going to be well fun. And then Beacon of Light. This target becomes a beacon of light to all members of your party or raid within a 60-yard radius. Any heals you cast on a party or raid member also heal the Beacon of Light for 100% amount healed. Now, this isn't too crazy at lower levels. Imagine Nax, right? You're going to bring 7 bloody Holy Pallies and you're going to beacon like 3 different warriors and just heal the raid. And the tanks are just never going to die. Yeah, I mean, that's... Beacon of Light seems kind of scary. An instant strike that causes 75% weapon damage and regenerates 2% of your maximum mana. Ret's going to pick this up. Or maybe Holy if you don't need Beacon of Light. And then Hand of Reckoning, which gives them a taunt, thank God. Well, you know this ability, the threat bonus from Righteous Fury is increased to 80%, and the Righteous Fury causes you gain mana when healed by others equal to 25% of the amount healed. Additionally, Righteous Fury's active damage, which takes you below 35%, is reduced. So that's kind of crazy. That's what makes DK so strong in Wrath currently. So to have that on a Pally is kind of nice. What are we thinking? Like, Ret is going to be either Divine Storm or Horn Lordaeron. Probably just Divine Storm, honestly. And you'd have like a Holy Pally or something pick this up. So Ret is going to be Divine Storm. I'm guessing Rebuke. And then Crusader Strike. Holy is going to be... Yeah, I mean, there's not really any better options. So Horn of Lordaeron just to pick up that utility. Divine Sacrifice to pick up that utility. And Beacon of Light. Tanks, obviously Hand of Reckoning is pretty much a must. So Hand of Reckoning and Aegis, I think, are just going to be like almost mandatory as tanks. And then Legs is going to very much be a flex slot. You could bring slot. Avenger Shield, absolutely. You could bring DSAC, you could bring Rebuke, you could bring... I don't think you'd ever bring Exorcist. But yeah, so, I mean, overall, guys, thinking that rogues are going to be pretty crazy. Hunters are going to be fun, like with ridiculous amounts of crit. Warlock, I still think is going to be the most broken class. Mage is going to be probably the most played class. And I think Feral Kitty is probably going to top meters in just early predictions. So, yeah, let me know what you're playing in Season Discovery. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Thank you for watching and catch you later. Bye.